Russian Geopolitics, the Energy Sector, a documentary by Diana Visco. Geopolitics is a method of studying foreign policy to understand, explain, and predict international political behavior through geographical variables. Russia's most pertinent form of foreign currency is energy. Therefore, Russia's energy resources certainly play a central role in geopolitics. Russia's old regime under Yeltsin adopted Western principles and sought to westernize Russia. In contrast, Putin's current political platform dictates a more pragmatic agenda for Russia's economic interests. Russia's low population density, long distances, energy exports, and challenging natural conditions are all factors that contribute to Russia's prominent energy sector. Russia continues to export energy to the rest of Europe because of the country's leading energy-producing industries, energy transport, enterprise structures, distances and borders, the size of the European market, and built infrastructure. A 2000 report ranks Russia third in the world after the USA and China in energy production due to its abundant natural resources that include gas, oil, coal, hydroelectric power, and uranium and wood and peat from the coniferous forests in the north. 1/3 of European oil and gas imports come from Russia. Therefore, Europe relies on Russia to support its manufacturing consumer base. In exchange, Russia relies on Europe to finance its economic development and diversification. The 2011 development of Russia's Nord Stream pipeline further fortified Russia as a principal energy supplier to Northern Europe, particularly to Germany. This pipeline will carry gas under the Baltic Sea and into Germany and the rest of Europe. Beneficial to Southern Europe, Russia is currently building the South Stream pipeline, which will make Russia a key exporter to Mediterranean and Central Europe. Russia hopes to become independent from Ukraine while constructing a reliable revenue stream for Moscow, which affects the West's future and augments competition. Geopolitical conflict regarding economic competition between Russia and the West have continued to arise. The West, particularly the United States, views the mutually beneficial relationship between the EU and Russia as threatening their geopolitical power in Europe. The talks of Moscow's political and economic strength would severely weaken the West's strategic position. In fact, the US and its European allies have embarked on their own pipeline projects to offset Russia's growth. For example, the Trans-Anatolian Pipeline will bring energy to Europe from Iraq, as well as the gas-rich Caspian region via Turkey. The current conflict in Ukraine can be understood, at least in part, as a struggle for control of the critical gas delivery infrastructure. The emergence of the Islamic State of Iraq and the greater Syria ISIS complicates the notion that the geopolitics of energy are traditionally set by sovereign states. To maintain its energy dominance, Russia is turning to the east, winning market share from the Middle East. Western powers are attempting to meet with various forms of hard and soft power. The infamous missile shield in Eastern Europe, the war in Syria, the crisis in Ukraine, and many other issues all factor into this greater competition. The rapidly growing Asian economy has changed the global division of energy consumption. Nowadays, China is the world's second largest energy consumer. However, economic activities increased, thus also increasing energy demand. The geography of the oil industry has greatly changed over the last 30 years. Between Russia and the European Union in the energy field will bring the former East Central European countries and the Baltic states back into the energy system from which they wanted to be separated when the Soviet Union collapsed. However, conditions for this integration have changed. For example, current gas directives create totally different markets in regards to the past economy period that was formerly witnessed with the Soviet energy purchasers. This ultimately means the emergence of new geopolitics, or else trade relations suffer. The new post-socialist reality differs very much from the past, but Russia still has hopes for emphasizing its cultural individuality. Through non-westernized features, Russia's Russification motives define the country's hopes for becoming the superpower it once knew. In a globalized and capitalized world, geopolitics defines the competition for the most useful energy resources. For Russia, this game means integration with partners. Russia needs to cooperate successfully in the economic sector to maintain unproblematic socio-cultural relations. But will the system work for the superpower as the US and Asian markets dominate the energy sector? That's for Putin to solve.